Well, hello everyone and welcome back to another video, and welcome to the very first F1 2021 game ideas. Yes, over the next couple of weeks we will be looking at some ideas for F1 2021, including my team, multiplayer as well, and some other stuff as well. So if you've got any ideas of your own, then now is the time to comment them below. Make sure you also hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell to not miss any of this series as well. Especially hit the subscribe button as well. We're currently aiming for 250 subscribers at the end of the year, and we're on 228. So if you have subscribed already, then a huge thank you for all your support. But yes, we're going to be discussing classic tracks that should be in F1 2021. Now, they have to be in F1 2021 because, of course, every time Codemasters release a new patch, somebody in the comments on Twitter or wherever asks where is Mugello, or where, I'm presuming they're going to ask when we get to the particular track, where's Istanbul, where's Imola, etc, etc, where's that Hockenheim, not Hockenheim, the Nurburgring, excuse me, etc. You get the idea. But obviously they've said no, it takes a year to train up the AI and we haven't got the money. Basically they don't want to invest the money in adding these. But I think they should add these 10 tracks. Now obviously some of these are made, obviously they haven't added 10 tracks to the 2021 revised calendar, so I've added a few of my personal favourites, and tracks that I really want to have a go around as well. But of course the first one is a track that I went around only a couple of weeks ago in a video, Mugello, and obviously it's got a lot of gravel, which obviously disadvantages the player. It's such a technical track as well. It looks like if you have the right setup for that track, then it will be such a joy to drive around. So it definitely needs to be in the game. Obviously I sort of struggled a little bit at the Mugello. I'll leave a card rather in the top right, if you haven't yet seen that video, to go and watch my struggles around Mugello. Yes, I want to see it in another game, see if we can have a good go at it and get the especially in F1 in modern day cars as well, with the new front wings, etc. See if we can push the car to the limit, and it should feel quite good. Now the next two are two tracks in Germany, and when I was growing up they were both on the calendar. Now this next one's only been brought back because of the alternative layout. It's the Nurburgring. Now I haven't actually been around the Nurburgring in about, it's been a while since I've driven around there. We will be driving around there for the Eiffel, is it Eiffel? I can't pronounce whatever that is. I think it's pronounced Eiffel Grand Prix that's coming up in the 2 years. I know it's probably wrong. If it is, let me know in the comments below. But yes, it's obviously also will be trying the little hill that they've got there, because in the older F1 games you used to be able to do a 360 there. And also Hockenheim as well. Particularly I love Sector 1, and pretty much because it's a fast flowing, it's pretty much got everything, that track. Well, yes, I'd say it's one of my favourite tracks to drive around. Yes, it may not be my most successful one, because obviously that seems to be that seems to be Spielberg and Austria, the Red Bull Ring. But Hockenheim, I mean, you've got the old part of the section to begin with, where it's just flat out with 90-degree corners, and then you've got the hairpin, and then you go into the technical stadium section, which really makes it a very good track and are much better than certain others that are on the calendar as well. Fuji as well I'm going to add to this list, mainly because of its big long straight. It has the longest track. It's the longest straight ever in Formula 1, I think. it goes on for a couple of miles at least. I think it's longer than Baku, but don't quote me on that. But yes, the reason why I've chosen Fuji sort of links to the multiplayer episode, because I think obviously you may have not seen Veloce Esports and Foxu98 play sort of little games like hide and seek, British Bulldog, and Fuji, well, especially for British Bulldog, is the perfect track for this. So not only from that, also it's got a very long straight. So obviously, if you're trying to test which classic car has the best top speed, then that is the track to go for, really. Right, number 5 out of this little series is Long Beach in California. Now, obviously, I've driven around this a few times on a few episodes on this channel already, but I actually quite like Long Beach. It's a street track with lots of 90-degree turns and hairpins, but at the same time, it's also a track that's got the Queen Mary, and it's also a track that I've been to. And if I can say that in a Formula One game, then I'll be happy. Obviously, none of the tracks that I haven't actually been to any of the other tracks that are currently in F1. So, and also the fact it's a street circuit, you've got to have, obviously, it's pretty much a precursor for Monaco, but with lots of 90-degree corners. The final corner as well has got that twisty left. You come out of that, you swing to the right, and then you have to go around to the left for the hairpin as well. So it'd be quite nice to see it in the game. Moving back now to a more permanent circuit, and Istanbul, where of course Turn 8 has been. We've all been driving around Turn 8 for many years now, because of course the reverse version of that is at Austin. So it's a nice track as well. One of the really the only tracks that in modern times that have actually produced any popularity from actual F1 drivers, because most of them aren't that great, although we're yet to actually see the likes of Zandvoort and Vietnam, so we'll see what they can do maybe next year if we get to go to them. Portimao is another track. I've never driven around there, so I can't actually tell you what this track is like right at this moment in time, but obviously it should be in the game, because obviously we've had a Grand Prix around it in 2020, so it makes sense that we should have one. It should be in F1 2021. Imola as well, obviously, is on the list. Imola I have driven around. Obviously, it was in F1 2013 as a classic track. One of the few original ones that from F1 2013 that are listed along with. I think it was either whichever Hockenheim or the Nurburgring, because they were alternating back then, so they added the other one to the game, basically. To the classic track section as well. But it's an old style circuit, Imola. It's got a little bit of gravel as well, and it will be nice to be able to go drive there with modern day cars as opposed to the old V8 style cars that we have in F1 2013. Okay, and the number 9 is Adelaide. Now, I've talked about Adelaide in last year's Game Ideas. It's a track that has particularly thrown up a couple of moments when it hosted its 10 Grand Prix tracks. I don't think they should go around there again, probably because it would upset V8 supercars. One of the Australian supercars still race around Adelaide, but obviously the track is actually quite good. It'd be nice to see it in its street circuits. It'd be nice to be able to see it in F1 2021 with modern cars, and obviously you can go and race them with classic cars. Although I'm going to quickly have a quick mention of classic cars. I haven't got an episode planned for them, but basically I think the C3 class cars should be restored for F1 2021. I don't know why they removed them for F1 2020. It doesn't make any sense. Then they can use them as a stepping stone maybe for future games to add the original generation cars that didn't have downforce from the 1950s and 60s, C4 class cars. So that'd be quite nice to see, that we've only really seen in video in games like Forza. But yes, Adelaide definitely is a track that it's got a little bit of tyre wear. Obviously Nigel Mansell had that blowout which cost him the 1986 World Championship, and also it'd be nice to just be able to maybe alternate it on the calendar as well. Again, these all need to be available to be used in career mode, otherwise there's really not, otherwise they're just going to be left alone in Grand Prix mode. And the calendar as well needs to have, you need to be able to sort the order and the dates of that as well, to otherwise you're just going to end up with big long places where you're just going to be ending up either having stupid mid-season break, like we've seen in my driver career mode, where they've given us a 3-day break for some reason, ridiculous, or you're just going to end up you're basically going to have literally 2 months between the first and second Grand Prix, and it just, you don't want that. You want to have sometimes you want a quick amount of time, and then other times you want a little bit more, but the maximum you want is maybe 2 or 3 weeks between each Grand Prix. Not anything more than that. It should not be in the game. And obviously the final track, of course, is the Bahrain Outer track. Now this will make F1 Codemasters and have a look at their short layouts of tracks that they got, because there is already a short layout of Bahrain in F1 2020, but it's not the layout that they're using for the upcoming Sakir Grand Prix in December. Is it December? It's either December or late November, I can't quite remember the date. But yes, obviously it needs to be in there. And also we need to take a look at some other short layouts, maybe, because obviously some of the short layouts aren't really there. Maybe instead of having a look at short layouts, we go to alternative layouts like the old layout of Britain. Maybe get the historic Monza with the banking, because the old banking layout is actually in the game. They just need to allow us to drive around it because it's already modelled, because the banking is still there. Old Monaco as well would be, that's also, if you ever played Assetto Corsa, then you know that's incredible to have a go around as well. So there are quite a lot of older tracks and alternative layouts that would actually be quite nice to have in the game, and also spices up the game, because obviously yes, we want to be going to the iconic tracks every season, like Monaco, Monza, Silverstone, Spa maybe as well, but at the same time you don't want to be go around the same layout year by year, otherwise it just gets boring, and it adds that bit more freshness to the career mode and maybe persuades the player to play the career mode a bit longer, because at the moment Codemasters are making a career mode both for my team and for driver career mode, and they're basically making it to last 2 seasons. If you play more than 2 seasons at the moment, then you probably end up stop enjoying it. Again, I haven't yet got past season 2, so I'm still there, but maybe definitely in the later seasons it sort of becomes a bit stale, especially if you're racing at the same track time after time after time. But yes, those are 10 classic tracks that should be in F1 2021. If you've got any that you want to add to this list, then let me know in the comments below, as well as any of your other F1 2021 game ideas. If you're new around here, then please do get subscribed for weekly Formula 1 gaming content, and also F1 2021 game ideas. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy your day, and goodbye.